you have learnt about classification, and you know why do we need to classify organism and what are the types of classification, and so many things you have learned in your previous session, right? And do you know on what basis we categorize or we classify plants? On morphological basis, anatomical basis, and so many things, isn't it? And earlier classification was mainly based on morphology. Morphology means what? Morphology means study about the form and structure, isn't it? So, we categorize organism based on the information available during that time. And nowadays, not only morphology, we also consider so many characters like anatomy, palynology, cytology, carinology, and so many things be taken into consideration while classifying organism. Likewise, this cladistics also one of the method to categorize plants. And I told you analysis of taxonomical data and also the classification may change from time to time, isn't it? And we are going to see one of the tool, taxonomical tool, which is used to generate phylogenetic taxonomy. Okay, cladistics. So, cladistics is the methodology used to classify organism into monophyletic groups. What do you know about monophyletic groups? Monophyletic groups are nothing but all the descendants of common ancestors, and it consists of all the descendants of a common ancestor, isn't it? So, we can define cladistics as it is a methodology used to classify organisms into monophyletic groups consisting of all the descendants of common ancestors. And this method was first developed by a German taxonomist Ulrich Henning in the year 1950. So, this is one of the most common method or most popular method for the construction of phylogeny. And you know that in earlier days they were constructed the phylogeny or the cladogram utilizing only the morphological data, and the outcome of a cladistic analysis is called as cladogram. So, what do you know about cladogram? This is nothing but the outcome of a cladistics analysis. Cladogram is nothing but a tree shaped diagram which is used to explain or which is used to predict phylogeny. And I told you already, this cladogram construction was earlier they done with the help of morphological data, but nowadays not only the morphological characters, but also they taken into consideration about the genetic sequencing data and also computational softwares like this. You might have studied about BLAST, isn't it? And the software BLAST is mainly used in barcoding, plants DNA barcoding, isn't it? So, like this, some of the softwares are commonly used in the construction of cladograms, and here each and every branch here is called as clade. So, the clades have at least one common shared derived characters found in their recent common ancestors. So, that is nothing but it may be a morphological character. Morphological character means either it may be a characteristic feature of a leaf or a stem or fruit or flower, whatever the case may be, and it may be a behavioral character. Behavioral character, if you notice that for example opening of flower, some flowers may open during daytime, isn't it, whereas some may open during or bloom during night time. So, that comes under the behavioral characters. And also molecular, mainly molecular based means mainly based on the structure of amino acid or protein or DNA sequence present in that, all those things. So, these characters are taken into consideration while constructing a cladogram, and the cladogram is of three types: monophyletic group, paraphyletic group, and polyphyletic group. What do you know about monophyletic group? Taxa that includes all the descendants of a common ancestor is called as monophyletic group. See the first diagram here, A, B, C, D is given, right? So, A, B, C, D, all these things are derived from a common ancestor, isn't it? You needn't think that it should be given A, B, C, D. You can give any letter or number, whatever the case may be. It may be A, B, C, D, A, or whatever the case may be. You can use any number A, B, C, D. All these things are the individuals derived from common descendant. So, here all these things are together called monophyletic group. Next one, paraphyletic group. So, paraphyletic group means taxon that includes an ancestor, but not all of the descendants of that ancestor. For example, here also you see it looks like that of monophyletic, isn't it? Actually it is a monophyletic group. But you see A, B, C, we call that as paraphyletic group. Again B, C, D, that also considered as paraphyletic group, okay, because you see this is a monophyletic and this is another monophyletic, and we also say this is monophyletic. So it comes a complete one, right? But here you see, if you consider A, B, C, is it complete? No, isn't it? So if you include D along with that, it will be a monophyletic group, okay. So taxon that includes an ancestor, but not all the descendants of the ancestor is called as paraphyletic, okay. Then the third type is polyphyletic group. The polyphyletic group is nothing but taxa that includes members from two different lineages. Here you see this is from one lineage and this is from another lineage, okay. So these two, if we consider this alone, we call this a monophyletic group, and that separately considered as a monophyletic group, isn't it? So these two were derived from two different lineages, that is why we call this as polyphyletic group. While categorizing, or when we use this cladogram for taxonomical purpose, cladistics accept only the monophyletic groups, whereas paraphyletic group and polyphyletic taxa are occasionally considered when such taxa are conveniently treated as one group. For example, monocots, lilyites, whereas polyphyletic group is completely rejected from cladistics. Okay. So I told you already, polyphyletic taxa are occasionally considered when such taxa are conveniently treated as one group. If not, we completely rejected polyphyletic group from cladistics.